guys, I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Remember how I said my dog kind of barks? Well, he was barking and not having any of me talking this morning. So I had to wait till he chilled out because he just, I guess the walk wasn't enough this morning. I just took him on it like maybe an hour ago and that apparently did not do it. He's still chock full of energy. Let me adjust this. There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm trying a new angle. Ooh, that's better. I don't look like a ghost now. Sweet. That's always the issue of a pale redheaded person like myself. So anyway, I am Christina Heideck. I am your host here in the PTO Super Star Leaders Facebook group, and I'm super excited to talk to you today about what I'm going to talk to you about, which is getting and recruiting volunteers for like kind of super big events. Like maybe your PTA or PTO does like a signature event every year, and I know a lot of times maybe it can be, especially with, this has happened to my groups in the past where it's been an annual event, but then like maybe you're not sure the event is actually going to happen because you don't have enough volunteers. And so you either have to cancel the event or threaten to cancel the event, which I think both are like not very good options at all. Like totally you don't want to be doing that. So today I'm going to go over 3 different ways how you can not have that be an issue where you'll have like enough people to have this like awesome event. So, but first I just wanted to give a shout out to a guide that I've written that will actually give you the tools to do this. And it's, there's 9 tools and they all happen to be free. And I've talked about it for a couple weeks now, but I know y'all haven't, not everyone's downloaded it. So you're gonna hear me talk about it because I think it's like really awesome. And it gives you 9 free ways that really ignite parent engagement. I mean, isn't that what we all want as PTO members, right? Yes, yes, yes. So you can snag that guide and it's totally free. You just type in your email address and it'll be delivered right into your inbox, and super easy. So you can snag it at bit.ly/PTO Tools. Now remember to capitalize the PTO because your fearless leader right here totally did not know that Bitly was case sensitive. So I did a bad thing and I capitalized PTO. So to get it, you're gonna have to go to bit.ly/PTO Tools with PTO capitalized. Okay, so today's topic actually comes to us from our fabulous community member, Stephanie Malia, who gave me this great idea. Because the whole goal of these live streams is to give you guys the information that you need to successfully run your group, right? That's the whole point of the group and community. It's just to give you what you need, because I really felt like there was not a lot out there. So I created this group, and yeah, it's kind of growing like wildfire. So, and that is an unfortunate reference to the fact that California and Montana and places like that in Washington are having some bad wildfires. I can't talk today either, right now. But anyway, so if you have an idea for something, go ahead and put in the comments and we'll try and get to it in future live streams. Okay, so let's get into it, because I know nobody wants to cancel an event because you don't have enough peeps, right? Sorry, this headband never stays on, and I should really get rid of it because it literally never stays on. Okay, anyway, nobody wants to cancel an event. Nobody wants to be like a stressed out PTO-zilla to take. Did you guys ever read or look at Bridezilla? I used to love that blog. It was really funny. Anyway, nobody wants to be like that. You just want to have a super successful event that everybody has fun at, right? Right. So how do you do that? So Stephanie's specific question, which we're totally going to get to, is how to organize larger events and get volunteers to commit. So I have 3 different ways that I think or 3 different tactics that you should take in order to, or you should try in order to get volunteers to actually commit. So, and to actually organize the larger events. And the first is you need to publicize the heck out of this event, because I think all too common, it's really easy for the PTO members and the leaders who are like doing the work of planning the event to be so into the event and be so committed that they're eating, breathing, and sleeping nothing but like carnival, let's say, right? But like, because you're so in it, you don't realize that other people like have a lot of junk going on and they have no idea about your event. Or maybe they think it's like a different day. They just aren't tuned into the details. So I highly, highly, highly recommend having somebody separate from the person who's planning the event do publicity for the event. But the person who's doing publicity for the event, they need to be on that event committee, because it's double work for decisions to be made and then have to be communicated separately at a separate time. Like, it's really awesome for that, whoever's your communications person. You don't have to have a separate position. You can take like a VP who doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot, or only has like time of the year heavy jobs, like for example, membership. And I say this lovingly because right now I am a membership chair at one of the PTAs that I serve on, and it's September. We've been in school for like 3 weeks, and guess what? My job is almost done, right? Because people are either gonna join or they're not gonna join, and that's like a whole separate conversation. If you want to hear my thoughts about that, let me know, and you know I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so you need to be publicizing this puppy like all the time, well in advance, so people know that it's coming. I was in charge of family events last year at my youngest's school, which is a K-3 building. So we didn't have, I really was not trying to be crazy because I have so much going on with like a big event every month, but I did start off the year with sending around sign-up sheets for like the, at meetings, with like the events for like the first half of the year, just so people could be introduced to it. So like, people are going to need more than just one instance of you mentioning something to be like, oh yes, I want to volunteer for that. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to get anybody, because the superstars like you're a total superstar, and the other PTO that I call them lovingly nerds, like me, I'm a total nerd where like, you need help, I'm going to sign up to make it happen, because that makes me happy to have like big events like this go off without a hitch. So I'm going to commit, but like, we are so in the minority that you need to get like the superstar wannabes. Like, you need to introduce it early, so that they get comfortable with the idea, and that they also are going to be like, their interest is going to be piqued, and so they're going to want to know more. So in order to have good publicity though, you have to have a plan. You got to know what's going to be happening at this carnival. You're going to have to know not only where you're having it, when you're having it, and the time, but you're also totally going to need to know the ins and the outs. So you're going to need to know how many carnival games you have planned. You're going to need to know whether you're going to have food, a cupcake walk, a karaoke station, a photo booth. Like, you're totally going to have to plan out every single part of this before you can figure out how many volunteers you need, right? Because once you get that big, huge plan together, then you're going to go back and start filling in the holes and being like, okay, I need a photographer and a photographer's assistant at the photo booth. And for the cakewalk, well, yep, we need someone to do the music and then somebody else to collect tickets. And then at each game, you probably need like a prize, a game runner, and then like a prize giver outer, right? Or ticket redemption, whatever. Depends on how your carnival is set up, right? But the main point is you have to know exactly what is going on, because you don't want to underestimate and not have enough volunteers to where you're scrambling day of, or worse, have too many volunteers. And who I know people will go, what? We've never had too many volunteers. In fact, my PTA one time at Carnival had too many volunteers, and people who had signed up and taken time out of their day, mainly like parents, were like mad, not really mad, but like a little miffed that they weren't being used, because we had like an influx of high school kids that were coming to get their community service hours, which was great because the high school kids don't complain about anything, and they'll work like dogs for you all day long and be very happy for you to sign off on their 3 community service hours. So by the by, you should totally be getting your older students to help out with events if you can. So yeah, you need to have a plan. And then if this is a brand new event that you've never tried before, you totally need to ask other groups. So ask other schools in your district, ask your friends on Facebook who maybe don't go to the same school. Like maybe, like I grew up in Cleveland Heights and now I live in a suburb of Cleveland. So I have friends in the area that we're not in the same school district, but I still have peeps around me. So I can ask them, I could ask them questions about like, how do you do things? And in fact, when I was first president, I totally did that because there's so much wealth of information. It's like why I call you all superstars to begin with. Like that's intentional. Like you all have this amazing information and you kind of know what to do, even if you're kind of unsure of yourself. So my last point on how to get volunteers is that you need to be explicitly clear about what is involved. Think about a time when maybe you were not so sure that you wanted to get involved with an organization. Was it because you didn't really know what was involved? Like the details were kind of vague. You didn't know if this was going to be like the gateway drug into getting pulled into their deep abyss of never-ending volunteer requests. Yeah, like don't repeat those same mistakes. You totally need to tell people exactly what is involved, the time length of their commitment. Like, hey, it's not a big deal. You like come and volunteer for Carnival or whatever. You come at 10, you're done by 11:30. Well, that's totally manageable. But if you say come and help with Carnival, or we need volunteers for Carnival, people really don't, if they've never helped, they have no idea what that means. And so they don't know what that's going to look like and whether they can manage that or not. So you want to inform people with as much information as you can so that they know what's involved and they know that they can do it. So then the other part of this is that when you're explaining what's involved, have other people like cheer you on. For example, every year at the K-3 building in our district, or one of the K-3 buildings in our district, there's a third grade dinner. And so because again, K-3, so it's the last grade in the building before you move on to the upper elementary school. And so traditionally how it's worked is that the third graders come with just their parents, right? Or their guardians or two special people to them, but they have to be adults. Like you can't bring siblings. So it's really nice because for those of you with like multiple kids, how often do you get to spend time with just one kiddo? It's kind of rare. So this is kind of a big deal at this school. And the way that we just kind of elevate it and make it a little bit nicer is that we have people serve the catered dinner. So we have a line, and typically the parents of younger children, so not third graders, because we want the third grade parents to be enjoying the event with their kid. We don't want them to be worrying about it. The people without third graders, they serve, okay? And they set up and clean up and all that goodness. And so just to make it really nice for the third grade parents. And so what'll happen is, because that is such a small event that's limited to grades that are like then leaving the school district, or not leaving the school district, rather leaving the school, you'll have parents that are like unfamiliar with this event and they don't really know what's involved. So what I would always do, well, actually, I didn't even ask for it because my peeps always knew that during meetings, they'd be like, oh, if you've never volunteered before for this event, here's what it looks like. You come, it's really great. You serve, you set up, and you have to work for like an hour and a half, but then you get dinner, and you get your husbands to come home early from work, or somebody else, grandma, take the kids, so that you can have a nice night. And yeah, you're working, but it's like fun working, and it's just really fun to pull this event off. And don't you know, we had new people come and volunteer for the event every year, and it is just a really nice way because it kind of acts as social proof, right? So people, especially if they have a relationship with this person who's giving this testimonial about this event, they'd be like, oh, if Kathy can do it, I can totally do it. Like, Kathy's a cool chick. She's got her stuff together, but she's also very busy. And if she's saying that she handled this and had a really good time, well, then maybe I should consider it too. And so those are really 3 ways, and I kind of packed in, I would say there's probably 5 ways I just gave you on how to get volunteers to commit and how to organize large events. Just to sum it up, you need to have a plan for your event. You need to publicize your event, and you need to be specific about your details. If you do those things, you're going to find that your event will go off, not probably hitch free, but pretty darn close, enough to where it's palatable, to where you're like, that was a success and I don't really need to worry about it. And then you'll also have enough volunteers. So I had some questions before, and I haven't seen anything fly up on the screen today. So apologies. Again, I'm still learning this whole thing, and I don't have my computer set up because my computer does not like it when I'm also on my phone. I don't know, for Facebook. I haven't figured it out. Okay, so some people dropped some questions last night. So Priscilla asked how to recruit enough volunteers to have a successful event. So, and that, like I said before, I kind of answered this before, but I'll just sum it up again. That goes back to like having a plan and knowing exactly how many you need. So that's how you know if you have enough, is you have to know first how many you need, and then you tell people exactly what you need. You say, for this carnival to be a success, we need 15 volunteers total. We need 2 in the kitchen, 2 on tickets, and how many does that leave me? 11. Math is not my strong suit, peoples. That leaves 11 to run the carnival games. Okay, so you need to know exactly what you have, and then the people that are kind of on the fence about whether they're gonna volunteer or not, if they want the event to happen, they're gonna sign up, because they're gonna be like, whoa, we only have 10 people and we need 15. Like, you can totally get people to fill in the rest of the slots. All right, so I hope that answered your question, Priscilla. So the next question I have is from Chelsea, and she wants recommendations on vendors to order decorations from. Okay, so I have nothing startling to offer up for this one, because I either made my own decorations for events, or I tried to strip out the complicatedness, because I think, I'll go back to our carnival, because that's kind of a big to-do. So our carnival was held on a Saturday at the high school gym, and it was just for the K-3 building, but then we would invite like community members and of course other schools to come. And so we have the same carnival games pretty much every year, because some of these games are really old and all of the PTAs in the district share them, and they live in like a community closet, which is like super nice. But then also we have some decorations that already that are reused too, is what I'm trying to say. And then we just did like little decorations with like balloons and stuff. So one of my first years volunteering, they used to have a different theme for this carnival every year, and so the very first one I volunteered at, I was there like 2 hours before we started, before the doors were gonna open, and I was legit stapling decorations together to like actually make, I think it was a rainforest theme. And so I was stapling these like tropical trees together, and I was sitting there going, why are we doing this last minute? Like, that's just not how I roll, because that would make me very nervous, because I know as an organized person, like stuff always comes up last minute. And so I would never do that. And I'm laughing just because it was so ridiculous to me. If that's how you roll, great, but this is not how I wanted to roll. So the next year when I was president, I was like, okay, so like the theme of carnival is going to be carnival. Like, it's not going to have a sub theme, because I thought we're spending way too much time. Like, the kids don't care if it's carnival every year. If you have like a big top theme, like just pick a theme and continue it. The kids are not going to care. You can switch things up in less complicated ways that are going to be more meaningful to the kids than just the decorations. So, but if I was going to buy decorations and things that I've purchased for in the past, because I don't want to go off on a tangent and totally not answer Chelsea's question, because that's not what I'm about here. I would look at Amazon. I found that they have like super competitive prices on things, and especially if you need like a lot of things. One thing I did last year, I did a glow dance for a 6th grade like end of the year party, and I used the like giveaways as decorations, right? Because it was a glow dance party, so we had like we turned all the lights off in the gym. And so the only decorations that I like for real did was like the glow glasses and the necklaces, because then everybody was like all lit up. And I had the DJ bring some lights, and they brought like black lights and then like different spotted canned lights. So or like floor lights that like shown up again. I don't know if they're technically canned lights, but you know what I mean. And it was really cool because then it made cleanup like pretty easy. So I'd say look for ways that you can find decorations that you can reuse from event to event, because that'll keep your overall costs down. And then also things that can be multi-purpose, like how I had the decorations and the like little freebie. And then I like to make a lot of decorations. So I started mother-father dance, like daddy-daughter, and then a mother-son jam and fun, because the boys would not come to a dance. I got the decorations from Party City, and then I made like the photo backdrop. So, and I got the idea from the photo backdrop from my Pinterest. I just went and searched and did like music photo backdrop. Like, you just have to become a Google queen, and then you will have no problem like looking for finding great ideas that you can do like on the cheap, because I always want to spend more money, not on like decorations are important, but food at events to keep people in a good mood is also a good thing. So it's all about balance. So I think that's about it for me today. And again, we talked about all the different ways that you can get volunteers, but then the mechanics of actually how you get those peeps, you're going to find those all in that tip sheet that I referred to earlier, the 9 tools to ignite parent engagement. And you can snag that at bit.ly/PTO Tools. And make sure to capitalize the PTO, because again, I told you about my bad. But really, that's where you're going to find like exactly how to do things. And you're like, okay, Christina, you told me how to publicize. How do I do that? Well, get that tip sheet, because it's going to tell you exactly what to do. And there's also some like things that you probably already knew about, but then for sure, some things that you haven't thought about. They're kind of out of the box, because I'm an out of the box kind of thinker. And so I collected these 9, and they're all free, which is like really sweet and awesome. 9 free tools to help you get more parents involved, more volunteers, and to have an overall more successful time at your PTOing time. So that is it for me today. I'm going to try and make this like a regular thing. I'm not scheduling my organizing clients on Wednesdays at noon so that I can be here with you guys. So yeah, catch me next week. And if you have an idea about next week's topic, like something you want me to give you my opinion about and ideas for, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the group. Have a good day.